Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow believers. How are you guys doing? Welcome back to another video on the David Hammond YouTube channel. I actually tried recording this about an hour ago, but a dude, the second we started recording, started blasting his power hose, which is completely fine. That's what happens when you film outside. So here we are, a little bit later. We got the coffee. Come on, guys, Black Rifle. I think a lot of you guys in America know what this is. In Canada, we don't have this. We have all the liberal coffee places like Starbucks. So when I saw a gun on a coffee shop, I could not believe it. And yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm sure you guys know what that is. It's more of like a veteran-owned coffee company. It's called Black Rifle Coffee Company. And yeah, it's like all we drink now. Anyways, with that said, welcome back, guys. Hopefully you're doing well. In today's video, I wanted to give you, again, guys, these videos are just simple, just spitting a little bit of knowledge. Anything that I observe or I go through or I think, hey, maybe this can be of benefit or use to you guys or even myself, then yeah. So yesterday, as you guys know, or some of you do, it was my heavy squat day, right? So we're talking a top set of 5, pause at around RP 9.5. Cap off the block. It's the heaviest it gets. As you guys know with powerlifting, right? You start off small with the block, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, progressively gets heavier, right? So this was the end. This was the last week, which was yesterday, and the goal was 455. Pause set of 5, RP 9.5. Now, did I end up getting it? No, I did not get it. I got 4 reps. The pause was kind of mid. It wasn't the best. It was okay. But I was expecting better, and in the moment, I was extremely frustrated. My wife recorded it to on her iPhone, and it said, you know, iPhone storage full, like right as she started, so like one of the reps got cut off too. It just wasn't good, wasn't having it, and it got me thinking in that moment, when you really fail, and again, guys, when I say fail, that doesn't necessarily mean like you lost an arm or, you know, this, no, but failure to you. Right? It's going to be very subjective. The point of this video, guys, is in that moment when I did not get the reps, I just didn't do as well as I thought I would. It was a very humbling moment, and it really brought me back to any time I would overestimate myself and get brutally humbled. Now, if you guys checked a couple of videos back, I spoke of men need to do hard things. Right? Men need to go street preaching, which I still have a lot of guys cope in my comments saying I'm being legalistic, or when Jesus said go preach the gospel in Mark 16:15, he somehow didn't mean preach it or something like that, nor here nor there. When I said go do hard things, preach the gospel, go do powerlifting, maybe you guys do jujitsu or some kind of a sport where you have the possibility of getting your butt handed to you. That's what it means to do something hard, guys. If there is no risk, there's no reward. You guys have all heard that. If there is no potential for you to fail, then it's not even, you can't even call that a venture, right? When you post yourself on YouTube and you can fail, when you go out and you street preach or you do these one-on-one campus debates and you get cooked by an atheist or cooked by a Muslim, or you have that potential, you have the option of things to not to succeed. That's a hard thing. That's good. We need that as men. We need that pressure. And that video kind of ties into this one. I want you guys to get humbled really bad. This sounds so crazy because after that squat thing yesterday, I was more disappointed than I think I should have been. But it just reminded me in my past, anytime I did something and I had my butt handed to me. So we're talking like full-on powerlifting competitions, and I like missed the lift completely. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like you are so confident going into something. You are so just steadfast, ready to preach, and like the police show up within like the first 2 minutes, right? Or I don't know, maybe you're courting a girl. I don't like to use this example because we don't like date girls per se, but you go ask a girl out and she just like straight up just rejects you, right? Or, you know, you apply to a job that you think like, hey, you know, I got a good shot at this, and you just get blatantly rejected. Like those very humbling moments that really hit a man's ego, that is the gold mine. And I know this sounds so backwards. David, what are you talking about? That feels horrible. I agree with you. It does feel horrible, but it's those moments, man, they sit with you forever, and those moments fuel any future success you will have. Guys, I really mean it. Please, please, please remember this, okay? Because this is applicable to all of us. It's those moments where you get burned, where you see if it's either a make or break. It's those moments where, I'll be honest, the majority of people I see, they quit. It's those moments where I have many clients that go evangelize, right? I have many individuals that I've coached, or I see many individuals on YouTube, they go evangelize, and they get some pushback. They go through a day that was not good. In fact, my wife did that. I think the second time she ever went to a college campus to evangelize, she came up against like a very big skeptic atheist, and she was not ready for these answers. In fact, for me, when I started evangelizing, many times that happened with like Muslims on TikTok. I would get cooked in front of like 200 people on TikTok live by these like big Muslim apologists. And granted, this is when I didn't know as much, so times are different now. But it stings, man. It really stings getting embarrassed. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is the reason why so many men do not hit their potential. You guys are so afraid of looking silly. I've coached, when I lived in Dallas, there was a group of Christian guys that I was with, and I'm not going to name names, and these guys claimed to be like men of God, like really like on their pollarks doing their stuff. Not a single one of them ever evangelized. Not a single one of them ever, now granted, maybe they spoke to a lady at a gas station or something, but I mean, I was there, I had the ministry, and I invited all of them to come street preach, to come to the Pride Parade. Hey, you guys are men of God, fighting aged men, come on out. Only one guy came out a couple times. And the reason for that is because everyone is real sexy on paper. Everyone is a man of God until it comes to do man of God type things. And I'm not saying, guys, that has to just be like street preaching. No, it's just getting out of your comfort zone. It's kind of like everybody hates the police until you actually need the police, right? Everybody hates men until you need a man to do things. Everybody hates the government. Everybody hates authority until it's time for the authority to pull through for you, right? And what I'm here to tell you guys is that as men, failing or hitting that moment where you get your butt handed to you is the most beautiful thing in the world, because not only does it show you, and I gotta be brutally honest, this is actually such an important video, so I want you guys to really think spiritually with what I'm saying. The reason there are so many man-children today in 2025 who think that they're a lot farther than they are, and of course I say this to myself, like I'm not exempt from this, that think that they're a lot farther than they are in this Christian walk is because they don't have their butt handed to them enough, if at all. If you are a man and you are not getting your butt handed to you, you are a man-child. Men need to know subconsciously and instinctually where they lie in this totem pole of life. And that means anything. That can mean in a sport, that can mean financially, that can mean physically. Men need to know, men work hierarchically. Do you understand? Think of like a ladder. It is very healthy and important and imperative for a man to know where he lies in that totem pole. And that does not mean you have to be crazy high. In fact, that can mean you're a baby. And in fact, I would encourage, and I am encouraging more of you guys to be that baby in the totem pole. That's what I look for all the time, right? Go get your butt handed to you in jiu-jitsu or boxing or something and realize you're the baby dog. Because that allows you then to objectively see where you are so you can then build. Do you understand? But so many men today refuse to look silly, right? To fail in that powerlifting meet, to get cooked by the atheist, to fumble their words in public, that they just refuse to even start on this ladder, because in doing so, they have to realize that they'll start at the beginning. And the Christian guys that I was with back in Dallas, that was the case. They would refuse to come out because they were cowards. And really what it came down to, I love them, I'm calling them higher. I really do hope they, grab their nuts and evangelize and do what they're claiming a Christian man does. Do you understand? But it is so easy to deceive ourselves. And that's really why I've kind of come back and made these videos, because I just, let me put it this way, guys. Growing up in Canada, I didn't have too many friends. When I came to the States, I didn't realize how many people, Christian men, lie to themselves. And it was very strange to me, because I thought, if I'm watching this guy's YouTube videos online, right, I'm not going to say names, and they're claiming to do certain things and be a certain way, when I meet them in person, when they don't do that, it's very confusing to me. Like I feel like I got catfished. And it just, I then look at myself and I'm kind of like, are they just not aware that they're not doing these things? Or like, why are they claiming A but then doing B? And it was very confusing to me, guys. And I think it really just, and that's why I'm making this video. It's not about being perfect or about being this like, guy who never slips, but you need to be honest with yourself. That was the first time this year I realized how many Christian men lie to themselves. And I didn't know that. Granted, you guys need to keep in mind, I'm used to coaching people online, right? And I work with people who are like really going at it. But to see people in person like cope and lie to themselves, dude, it really put a very bad taste in my mouth, and it really freaked me out. And of course I rebuked these guys, but you know, now we're no longer friends and I'm blocked on like every platform. But that's what happens, guys, when you call people higher. You know, I saw a good reel, and again, guys, I'm saying this all out of love to you guys. I get quite a few people like comment mean things, saying like, David, you think you're so this or so prideful. No, dude, I'm in the same boat as you guys. But a good quote, it was a reel I saw. It said, if you cannot take correction, you cannot be a disciple. And that's so true. If I can't take correction, if we can't take correction from God, how are we going to grow and be disciples? Because to be a disciple, guys, is to constantly get humbled, get your butt handed to you in jiu-jitsu, powerlifting, metaphorically, you get what I mean? That's why I'm saying, like, it is so encouraged to look like an idiot. Man, it sucked failing that squat yesterday. But man, did it encourage me, because you know what? I'm so much hungrier now to do it, to strengthen, to tighten up those loose bolts, right? And we just have a lack of men who really put their butt out there. They make YouTube videos behind cameras and they appear to be a certain way, but like they don't have these receipts in person, and it's pathetic. It's a joke. And I'm saying this to all Christian men. And this has really been very confusing for me, because at least where I lived in Canada, we didn't really have that. I'm telling you guys, the US is different. The US is kind of think of like a big jack bodybuilder who like inside is just like a little cat, or like is like very weak, or it's like a huge like rifle, but like it has no ammunition in it. That largely is what I've noticed is America. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of like, we mega Trump guys, like conservative, yada, yada, yada. But like these men don't really do anything. They're the same guys who just kind of like shout at a TV and then like sit behind closed doors, and they're not really out in the field. Where in Canada, it was borderline communist. If you claimed something, there would be receipts, because there's real threat, right? My pastor got arrested for preaching the gospel. He was in prison. He almost got locked up for years just for preaching the gospel. Now, granted, he's okay, but so I mean, that's kind of the background I came from, where like when someone says something, they do it. Otherwise, just don't say it. So this video is really, you know, multiple fold to encourage you guys and to really just document what I've noticed in men, in myself, and growing up now, guys. The point of this video is that we need to get humbled. You cannot be a disciple. And the reason I say this too, guys, why I call you and as us so much higher, is because we're disciples, we're Christians. Of course, we're not going to hold the Ned Flanders or like the typical guy to the same standard, but we're Christians. We are called higher. And we just have a lack of pastors that do that, which is why I get made fun of, or anyone who does dare call someone higher. So many men get triggered in the comments. Like, these are the same guys who refuse to put themselves out there. Men who are easily offended, men who get easily triggered, are usually the worst disciples. Because to be a disciple, guys, you're getting rebuked left, right, and center. Like, a good quote goes, everybody wants to be the coach, but nobody wants to be the player. It's the same men that critique all the time, and they're always easily offended, that are never out evangelizing. They don't have the YouTube channel. They're not getting uncomfortable. And my exhortment to you guys right now is that I want you guys to get more uncomfortable. I want you to fail the deadlift, fail the squat. Go sign up for that competition and embarrass yourself. But then you know what? With that, you get back up. You have that zeal. You have that conviction, that strength, that tenacity that's unwavering. You need to learn how to like love failures, is basically what I'm saying with this video. But you can't learn to love failures if you don't fail, right? A good quote goes that the master, which I'm not saying I'm a master by any means, I've definitely failed more than most people though. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. And I'm really exhorting you Christian men. The whole point of this channel, the title is to turn men into disciples of Christ. It's really just, it's to take the next step, man. And I know that's uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. And that's, guys, if you're ever wondering, like, I get two kinds of comments on this channel, which is fine. It's great. I get comments where these men take that correction well, right? They say, hey, David, you know what? This was really convicting and this really encourages me. That's amazing. But then I get the exact opposite, which is, I don't know. It's just like, it's almost like a manifestation where they just start pointing out all these like bad things in me that are completely irrelevant to the video, like they had nothing to do with the video, and it's almost like someone kind of projecting like why they can't do things, and it's almost like someone in the black pill space, right? Like, well, I can't do this because of A, B, C, D. And it's a victim mentality. And you'll see those comments here, and they're very left field. They have nothing to do with the video, and it's a lot of projecting. And that's okay. But the point of what I'm trying to say, guys, is the Bible says in Hebrews 4:12 that the word of God is sharp and powerful. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. You know, us calling each other higher as disciples of Christ is very painful. And I'm just here to tell you guys, a lot of Christian men have lied to you. And if there's one thing I've noticed with this industry, this like discipleship Christian men's industry, A, it's a very small industry for a reason, but B, a lot of men are lying to you guys. This is going to be a hot take. I don't believe you can have a YouTube channel telling men how to be godly men if you are not out preaching the gospel in public, where there is a real threat. I don't mean like you're in your backyard. I mean like go to a pride festival where you can get arrested. Now, again, we're not looking to get arrested, but you cannot have one without the other. And in fact, the reason we have such a lack of authority today with weak disciples is because of that. Because there are so many online Christian influencer men who have no receipts. And the problem is then is that you're being led by these guys, and then inevitably when they fail or they lead you astray, you as the follower have no clue what to do. Because there's a reason there's a rank and there's an order, or there are qualifications of being a pastor. And I'm not saying I'm a pastor, but just view that. In the Bible, there has to be qualifications to be a leader. It can't just be like, I have a camera, I know John 3:16, I'm that guy. Not because I don't want that person to be bold. No, I do. But because if you don't have those receipts and you lie on your resume, which I've been lied to so much here when I was in Dallas. I'm in San Antonio now. I don't have any friends. I have no friends. But when I was in Dallas and I was with all these like godly men and they lied on their resume, it was really dangerous, man. And then friendships broke up and it was really dangerous. And I never saw men so self-deceived in thinking they're one thing when they're not. And the reason they think that is because of the community that they're in. They all just kind of circle jerk each other and they like tickle each other's egos and say like, you're farther than you are. No, you're farther than you are. And then when I came around, this is not me boasting or anything. When I came to the scene from Canada and I kind of like, just my fragrance alone kind of exposed that, it just didn't end well, you know? And then I got called all these bad names and then relationships broke and I got, you know, blocked and it's just so confusing because it's like every Christian guy says they want to be a godly man and they want to be called higher, but then when someone calls them higher objectively, and I don't mean like you're manifesting like I get in the comments where it's just, there's no constructive criticism. It's all just like tearing down. No. When I mean then you give someone genuine constructive criticism and you see them manifest so ugly, they've lied to you. And I'm not saying this to one person. I'm saying this with Christian men. I'm saying this to myself, and I really have to examine myself. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's why I've had to take such long breaks from this channel because God really was working on me, man. I was really purging a lot of ugly things in myself. And so this video, guys, is multiple fold. It's to stop lying to yourself. It's to start getting uncomfortable, and it's to start failing. Man, failure, guys, is amazing. I honestly believe that's why I got into powerlifting to begin with. It's scary, guys. When you have a lot of weight on your back and you genuinely think like, I could die, I could die, so be safe. It puts things into perspective, right? A good quote goes to, and for my men who do MMA, you know, everybody, I think Mike Tyson says this, right? Everybody has a plan until they get knocked in the chin. Everybody's this big, godly Christian man until you have some like liberal LGBTQ person spitting in your face. Then it's different. Everybody's this big godly man until you have your max deadlift in your hands and like you fail it in front of everybody. And I'm encouraging you guys, you need to go through that. Men need to go through this initiation. And because we have a lack of this initiation and it is so easy to appear to be something on social media, it's ruining men. It is ruining us, guys. If you don't have the answer or you're not good at something, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay. Just don't lie. Stop lying. Be with other men who are better than you. Be with other disciples or other evangelists who are doing it 10 times harder. Be with other men who are in jiu-jitsu or powerlifting who are doing it better, right? And if you want to be like that, learn from them. Know that there's contrast, there's hierarchy. We need that as men. But if you are a Christian man and you are with your little circle jerk group and no one's really doing anything, how can you genuinely be called higher? And then when someone outside of that who actually is doing that calls you higher, you're not going to be ready for that. And you're going to view them as, you know, it's no different than the LGBT people being like, hey, love is love. Jesus says don't judge. And it's like, I'll just tell you guys this. The majority of Christian men do the exact same thing. And it blew my mind to see it, how fragile these like so-called godly men were. It's pathetic. And I've really learned why this path of discipleship, of getting married, being a father, preaching the gospel, living a quiet life, working with your hands, is so narrow. And I'll just want to finish this video here. If this sounds like I'm coming across as like trying to boast or be better, I'm not, guys. I'm really not. And maybe it may sound that way, but I can't control how you perceive that. Like if someone is objectively doing something, you may think, oh, that person thinks he's better, but that's you just projecting. I'm just trying to call a buck a buck. What I don't do well in, I would hope that I can document that to you guys. What I'm doing pretty well in, I would hope I can document that too, so we can see where we're at, right? It's not about being better, but just we can't lie to ourselves. And I failed that squad. I'll tell you guys that. I posted on my stories. You could see it, right? I don't hide anything. And I think just to finish it here, the last thing I'll say is let's focus on trying to be more transparent. If I've gained weight and I'm being lazy, just be honest. If you're doing really well at something, be honest. Call a buck a buck. All right, guys, God bless you. Hopefully this can be an encouragement to you and you can gain some nuggets from this, right? I'm just trying to document this new chapter with you guys, and it's so exciting and beautiful. And I really do feel we need more men doing this who are young, in the same boat as you guys. So thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. As always, there is men's discipleship coaching. If you guys want to work with me on a personal level, one-on-one, I love speaking with you guys, all right? God bless you. Have an amazing day, and I'll check you guys then. Till then, much love. Peace.